I've got my transfer case laying here practically under the truck, and I just put a little bit of some anti-seize on the shifter linkage here on both ends. Cleaned up my splines on both ends. Up my drive shaft, greased up the universals on this end here, and greased up the other universal at the back end. Got a C-clamp holding the two end caps on. If you don't do that, then when you put the grease to it, then the end caps just want to pop off, so that's why they'll stay on until I get it on the truck. So I'm under the truck, and I just cleaned up the inside here and cleaned everything up around the end of the drive shaft there for the front drive, and I cleaned all this up, put some silicone on it, and just let it set for a little bit before I lift the transfer case up. And then I went ahead and greased up my ball joints and my steering linkage. These are the bolts for the transfer case and on the transmission side of it, and they have the blue Loctite on them, so I'm going to need to put some Loctite back on them, and in order to do that I'm going to have to do them like this one here, and clean up the threads. So I use a wire brush and clamp the bolt in with the vice grip nice and tight. Put the seal down. You need to do it on an angle this way, because if you turn it this way it'll always want to go through, so you need to do it on an angle. That way if it does get caught, if it all of a sudden gets caught here, then you're not having it fly through the bottom like that. It's a lot safer. I put my transfer case bolts in this little lid here, and I couldn't find any. That is blue. Loctite blue. I thought it was red because the tube is red, but it is actually blue. So that's what I was looking for, was Loctite blue. And I'm just going to put a little bit of it on each one of these bolts here for the transfer case, just to make sure we're not going to lose anything. So there we are. Okay, try to get this beast up in there. Make sure the linkage is facing forward, otherwise you're going to end up having to take it off again. Take the linkage off, that is. Okay, so I got it up on the block, about halfway there. And now I can get underneath it. That's my leg. I might have been better off taking the linkage off. It was getting in my way there. That's okay. Now I'll try and get some bolts started. Has to be wiggled in the rest of the way yet. one bolt. You might have to lift up on the end and maybe even turn it a little bit. That went in a long ways now. So I can get the rest of the bolts in now and finish up here. Before tightening those bolts, I made sure that my shifter linkage here was going to be in place and make sure that it wasn't going to be binding anywhere, and I made sure that my front drive shaft here wasn't binding anywhere, and also up around the top of the transfer case where the seam is here. Just make sure that this wire or anything else isn't hanging down in between